What's problem?
Everybody good?
We good.
Let me see them. I want y'all to let me know who y'all is, so, because I don't know y'all, so y'all don't know me. So.
I'm Jamie.
I'm
Avery.
I'm wife.
Yo, don't listen to him. His name is
He's
Anthony.
not wife and
Anthony? Okay. Justin?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm KJ.
KJ?
Jeffrey.
Arrest him. Eli.
Oh, okay.
Evan. Andrew.
All right. As she said, I'm Idell. I am the founder and CEO of FLY. It stands for First Love Yourself. I've been working with kids in various capacities for the past 16 years. Denise in the office asked me to come and talk to you guys, and I figured we can have a conversation. I don't really like lectures. I feel like that's kind of boring, so I like for people to talk back to me. All right, so y'all gonna have a conversation with me? Sounds good, sounds good. All right, today I wanted to talk about success and failure. It's an interesting topic because when you think of those two, you kind of don't think of them going together, right? You think like you either got to be either successful or you got to be a failure, right? So, got a couple questions and then we're just gonna rap for a little bit and then y'all could, I don't know, finish going on lunch or something. All right. All right. When I talk about success, what do you guys think of success? Like, what's the definition for success?
making yourself something.
Making yourself something.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else?
Just living with your family
Achieving.
and like just not, I don't know, not being behind bills, just being caught up on everything.
Being caught up on everything. All right. That's a good one. Somebody else? Success?
Achieving your goals.
Nice. Success?
No.
You don't know?
College, man. College.
Doing good things? All right. My man right here with the hood on.
You.
Success.
Success
Yep.
to achieve a goal.
To achieve a goal. All right.
Fun.
All right. So when you have all of that stuff in mind, name somebody that you feel like is successful. That you see. Who would you consider to be successful?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. All right.
Muhammad.
Muhammad. Muhammad who?
The math.
Ali. All right.
I was talking about that math teacher. I was about to say,
Name somebody you think successful.
Every rapper.
Every rapper.
No.
All right. Who else? Huh?
Lamb.
You
Don't
said
say
6ix9ine?
Don't say that.
6ix9ine is not successful.
I said that.
Your stepdad? Cool, man. All right. Name somebody successful. You don't know? All right. Me. You said 6ix9ine? You got that in my head now. You was a clown. All right. So, we said success is achieving goals, right? And you said being caught up on everything. Somebody said Kevin Hart. He said Muhammad Ali. You said your stepdad. I like that one because it's right in your face. So what is the criteria to make these individuals successful? What do you, when you look at them, like what makes them successful to you?
Stable job, good family support, college,
Achieving goals.
degree,
Okay. All right.
making money.
Making money. All right.
He has his own business.
His own business. All right.
Kenny, what are you doing?
What's some criteria to being successful? Having a plan B.
Stuff.
All right. All right. All right. And you're not talking about the pill. You're talking about something else. Okay. All right. So plan B. So having a plan B. What you say? What you say?
No, I said.
I thought she was answering. All right. All right. So we stated income was a criteria to being successful. Worth, possessions. You talked about status of things. All right. So with those criteria in mind, outside of you, within your immediate family, within people that you can see, or people within your neighborhood, who would you consider to be successful? We talked about famous people. It's easy for us to look at somebody famous that's attained something that we don't really know the backdrop to, but somebody that's right in your eyesight that you can see every day, talk to, who would you consider to be successful?
Dad.
Your mom, your dad. And why is that?
Always working. Always just trying to better.
So within yourself, what do you feel like you have to do in order to succeed the things that the goals that you have in life? You got a plan? Do you have a plan?
Not right now.
What grade you in? You a senior? No plan? Like 2 months past due. You're only as good as what you put forth. If you don't have nothing to aspire to, you constantly just walking through life just living. You don't want to just live. You know what I mean? You want to have life, and you want to be successful in whatever it is that you put in your mind to. What grade is everybody in? Everybody's in here as a senior?
No.
That was a mixture? Okay. All right. So now that we've defined success, let's look at the opposite side in failures. What's a failure?
Wrong decision.
The people you see on Main Street every day, all
The
day.
list?
8 o'clock in the morning, just standing in that one spot, doing nothing.
Doing the same thing over and over with no results.
Tell me.
What else? What's a failure?
Beggar.
A beggar? Beggar. What's a failure? You don't know? Somebody without. That's part of, you know,
Somebody with no morals.
no morals,
Yes.
no values.
Like someone not trying to better themselves.
All right,
That's a failure.
that's a failure, right? They say that the definition. Everybody knows the definition of insanity is. The definition. You said you. I hope not. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. How many people do we see in our lives that's just completely insane? How many times we gonna walk down that street and fall in the same ditch before we realize this week?
I told you.
Before we realize that it's a hole in the street, and let me go a different route. And then we get mad at the hole for being where it's supposed to be instead of us trying to find a different method, right?
Amen.
Right?
I know what you're talking about.
Right?
I know what you're talking
That's
about.
insanity. You keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over again with no results. It's crazy. It's a waste of time. Something that you can't get back, right? Because once we deposit time, we can't get it back, right? There's no way for us to refund time, right? I can't go in my pocket and say, here, we'll have a couple extra hours for you, right? I'd rather you waste my money than waste my time. I tell people that all the time. Waste my money, but don't waste my time.
I feel like if you waste my money, you waste my time too.
Nah, you can get money back. And sometimes, not every dollar is wasted. Let me put you on. Sometimes, right, you give somebody $1, right? And you be like, hey, he just wasted my money. Everything that you give out, have an expectation of getting it back. Somewhere and somehow. It may not be in monetary form, but it's going to come back. It's called karma, right? You put it out good, it comes back, right? That's in every facet of life. Every aspect of your life, there is karma connected to it.
Good or bad?
Good or bad. Absolutely. Absolutely. So you give $1, somebody might give you 2. So money's never wasted. It's a tangible thing with no. We put more into money than necessary. Right? All right. So. In your opinion, why do people fail? Why do people fail? Why do people fail? You don't know?
No support.
They don't want to change.
No support. They don't want to change. That's a good one. That's a real good one.
They give up.
They give up. They give up prematurely. They give up way too early. That's a good one right there. So within yourself, what are your goals? What are some goals? What are some
Graduate
goals?
from college.
Graduate from college. What grade you in?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior. What's college for you?
I got accepted into UConn.
Even though I don't like them, I'll give it to you. I'm not a UConn fan at all. No UConn sports this way. Duke all the way.
Dude,
Ew.
I feel you.
No.
Duke all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too?
Yeah.
Why you in here?
I feel you.
You too, right? See? Yeah, no UConn.
Not they football.
Yeah.
They
Blue
football
Devils.
team,
Oh, UConn?
No.
No, Duke football? Yeah, they do.
I like
UConn
the
football is good.
UConn football is not.
No.
They
I
not.
Never
have season
been.
tickets to the men's. No. UConn hockey's good.
Oh, see, I don't know nothing about hockey.
Oh.
No.
All right. So she said graduate college. You said you said be successful? Alright.
No, I don't think
Oh, what you said?
I
You remember? So what's your goal? You got some goals?
mean, make it through high school. Hopefully, at least a couple years in college or something.
What grade you in?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. What's your grades like?
I mean, I'm trying to do better.
Okay. That's all that matters. If there's effort, there's potential to be successful. If there's effort, there's potential to be successful. Alright? So, within that, do we have plans? Do you guys have plans? You said make it through high school. You want to finish. What's the plans? How are we going to execute whatever we have, whatever goals that we have? What's the plan? Because one thing to set a goal. I can set a goal right now to be a millionaire by Tuesday.
Make reachable, achievable goals.
Make things attainable, right? So stuff that you have to have short-term and long-term goals. Stuff that I can knock off right now, and then stuff that's maybe going to take me a little bit more effort, a little longer to get to, but eventually I'm going to get here, right? Now the thing about failure, right? The thing about failure is this. We talk about success and we give highlights to success. I'm going to play with your mind a little bit today and make you look at failure from a different perspective. How many of us failed in something? All right? You failed in something. You failed in something. You missed the mark. It just did not go the way I planned. So then, kind of like, what do you do when you fail something? Like, what's your thought process? How do you look at it? What's your thought process when you fail something?
Try to get better and do it again.
Okay. What's your thought process when you fail?
Learn the failure and do it again.
Do it again.
Try to do better.
All right. What's your thought process when you fail?
Try something else.
Try something different. Completely different.
Could be completely different, or depending on what you feeling that.
Okay.
I can stay quiet.
All right. What's your thought process when you fail?
There's a way to do better.
Okay, you want the other eye?
When I used to work out, well, I work out, but when I used to train, I used to do competitions. I used to do these figure competitions. Don't look at me now. I gained a couple pounds.
It happens.
It definitely does. But I used to do figure competitions. And when I used to be with my trainer in my competitions, and be, pre-show, we used to train. I used to train 7 days a week, twice a day. And my trainer used to give me a circuit of workouts. And each circuit had 3 reps, had 3 sets of workouts. My last set, he used to say, go to failure, right? So that means that I'm lifting till I can't lift it anymore, right? So then it's just like you get that half lift and it just, the muscles and everything just collapse, right? And he does that because it's at that point that the muscles in your body begin to, you get adaptation and your muscles begin to adjust and begin to tear so that they can rebuild and form into a stronger muscle, right? So the failure in that is necessary, right? Same thing in life. We go after something, and we ultimately fail, right? At some stuff we ultimately fail, some stuff we can succeed the first time, depending on where it is in our life of what we can do. If I always try to go after something and without a shadow of a doubt I can achieve, it's not stretching me any, right? I'm just pretty much just living at the capacity that I have. But if I'm shooting at something that's a little bit beyond myself, I'm gonna fail, right? They like picking at your hair. Okay, you got real good focus too, cause you're not even cause if that was me, I'd have been stop. I'd have been slapping myself. I got a fly on my head. I got short attention span. But yeah, as long as you're going after it and it's beyond yourself, there's often times that you're going to fail. The key to being successful is failing often. Sounds crazy, right? The key to being successful is failing often. Because if I'm failing often, that means I'm constantly doing something that's beyond where I am and beyond my own personal limitations, right? Now, I'm not saying to go to school and just be failing often because now you're trying to be successful. That's not what I'm saying. But when you're making goals in life and you're trying to grow beyond where you are, there's going to be hurdles. There's going to be some stuff that you're going to have to overcome. There's going to be some stuff that may seem a little bit more difficult, but you go at it. And I think some of y'all said you go at it, and if it don't work the first time, you figure out a new strategy and you go at it again. Same way I used to be in the gym. Every time I walked into the gym, my goal was to lift 5 pounds extra than I did the last time. So if I was at a 65, I gotta hit 70 today. I have to, even if it's just 1 rep, I gotta rep 70 today. And it's constantly trying to make yourself better. And even if that 70 get halfway up, I'm halfway better than I did the last time. I'm not completely successful, but I know where my mark is, and I know where I gotta go. I know how hard I gotta go the next time. You know what I mean? So failure isn't always as bad as we in our minds try to make it seem. Somebody said Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, you know Kevin Hart's backdrop? From like, we sing it now, and he's like this little tiny successful man, right? Yeah. But Kevin Hart had a backdrop. You know what I'm saying? He came through life very hard. You know what I mean? He had he had a father who was addicted to drugs. He had a mother, she was supportive and trying to do, as most of us do. We have a mother that's trying to grind and make sure that we get what we get. But life was hard. He didn't have it easy. So he used the negatives of his life to fuel the positive to get him to where he's at. You know what I mean? So he used those things, and that's why now, even to this day, he uses some of that stuff in his comedy, his stand-up things he's laughing at the things that he had to go through. But ultimately, the stuff that he had to go through is making him millions of dollars now. So there's ways and there's times. People like Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry slept in his car for years because he was homeless. He lost everything. Now this dude is in Florida about to build a studio bigger than Universal. Huh? Yeah. But you know what it is? It's focus, and it's not stopping when you fail. It's having that drive and having that momentum within yourself. Success is beautiful. It is. Success is a beautiful thing. Everybody wants to be successful. But life is not looking for a perfect person. Life is not looking for perfection. Life is looking for somebody that's prepared. And so your preparation comes from, I'm prepared if I have to fail, to recalculate and go at it again. How many of us have Apple products? iPhones, iPads, right? And we love those Apple things, right? I'm going to tell my age a little bit, but when Apple first came out, right, there was this computer that was probably the size of that screen. I'm being extra, it wasn't that big. But the computer was humongous, right? The back of it probably came from there to there. It was a heavy computer. The screen was probably, the screen was probably the size of that, the front of that notepad right there. It was a terrible computer. It sucked. Microsoft was running circles around it. So they collapsed. Back then you could buy stock in Apple for $1. $1 will get you stock in Apple, right? It was terrible. So they collapsed. Microsoft flew. Everybody was buying Microsoft products, computers, all of that stuff. A couple years later, they reintroduced. Came out with I think they came out with a new computer. Then they came out with the tablets. Then they started coming out with the phones. And now all you hear about is Apple, right? All you see and all you hear about is Apple. Then they competing with Microsoft and all of them. I say that to say they failed hard. They failed hard. They took that L and went into the lab, figured it out. They had to reassociate themselves with new people because the partnerships that they had that was building the first brand, that broke up. Sometimes that happens when we're trying to get to where we need to be successful. We have to regroup and get new people around us, new friends. Because sometimes the people that we have around us aren't motivating us to make us hit our fullest potential or stretch us beyond where we are. Y'all ever have some people around you that don't want to see you go no further than where you are? Like, you can't, man, come on, you can't do that. The people that's telling you, nah, man, that's too much. You can't even achieve that. You know what I mean? So why are you thinking about that? That's stupid. And they're downplaying your dreams because they know within themselves they can't achieve what you're trying to look at. So now they hating on what you're doing and pulling you back. From the people you gotta cut loose. That's dead weight. You walking around life trying to understand why you can't get to where you need to get. Because you holding on, you got people pulling on to you that don't need to be pulling on to you.
That's why I only got you.
People around you should feed into you just as much as you feed into them. You know what I mean? It should be an even exchange. You shouldn't, at the end of the day, every time that you guys are talking or whatever, feel like you're giving more than you're getting from that. I tell people all the time, even my friendships are relationships. If you're a friend to me, we're in a relationship. You need to give to me just as much as I give to you. And if I feel as though I'm giving too much and you not giving the same amount as I'm giving, I have no problem cutting somebody off.
Jeez.
I got family members I don't talk to, so you know I don't care about people that I just met, right? But that's how you gotta get if you wanna get to where you wanna be in life. Ain't nothing soft out here. These streets ain't nothing soft out here. Ain't nothing free out here. Ain't nobody gonna just give you nothing just because, you know, you got charisma or you think you're cute or ain't nothing. Everything got a price. In a minute they're gonna be charging us for air. Everything got a price. It's crazy. But you have to have a focus. You have to have a determination. You have to have a drive to want it more than you want anything else in life. You know what I mean? Passion is what makes people successful. Just imagine if when Apple first came out with the computers and they failed, and they was like, man, bumping, I'll just go to selling houses or something. I ain't gonna mess with these computers no more. You know what I mean? We wouldn't even have the iPhone. iPhone changed how people looked at phones forever. Because they were focused. Because they had a passion for what they was doing. You can't just go after stuff because of money. I see so many young people either wanting to be a sport, wanting to be an athlete, or a rapper because they feel like that's the only place money sits. So much money out there. But you gotta go about it with passion. You gotta find something that fuels you. Something that, even if I never made $1 from it, I could do this for free because I'm passionate about it. That's where your money's at. That's where your success is at. And your bank account doesn't equate success. You know what I mean? Just because you got a couple extra or less dollars than Kevin Hart doesn't make you not successful. There's success in so many different things. You know what I mean? You got people like Martin Luther King. You think he was rich? Well, he was successful though, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he left a legacy. He impacted somebody that impacted a nation. That every time you hear his name, you think about what he did and where we are now, right? So there's nothing wrong with failure. The problem with failure is when I stay where I fail at. If I fail and never decide to get up and do anything different, like the people you was talking about that you see on Main Street just sitting there not doing nothing different, if that becomes my life, that's where failure is a problem. But if I allow failure to be my fuel, I'm good. I failed many times. Many, many times. Many, 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 many times. But I've always been determined to get back up, though. Life can throw blows, it can hit you hard, but get back up. Try again. And when things in life begin to see that you're going to get back up and you're going to always try again, the blows don't hurt as much as they did the first couple times. And then you understand it. And then you begin to see, like you was talking about, the lessons in your failures. You got any questions? Comments? No? I can get them Cardi? I can get them Cardi?
Huh?
I can get them Cardi? No?